to officially start church at 5 after every Sunday because we're all so excited to be here. Yay, I like that. Good morning. I'm Reverend Debbie O'Donnell. It is my pleasure to preside here today. It's my pleasure to be part of this incredible organization that was founded by Reverend Joanne, and she's just been so welcoming. So, with that, how about we get a little music going? Because Victoria and Scott are ready.
Hey. I'm ready. I don't know what you're doing. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. When I start my day with peace, I start my day with joy. I feel that sweet release. I start my day with love. I start my day with peace. I start my day with joy. I feel that sweet release. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
All right, join me as we do a centering prayer. Let us just breathe that wonderful life force. Let's breathe in that love and that peace and that joy that was just so beautifully sung. Because at the very center of our being, that is who we are. That is whose we are. I remember that there is only one infinite intelligence, and it is fully operating in, through, and as each of us, all of the time. And I just say thank you. Thank you for that knowledge. Thank you for that love, peace, and joy. Thank you for this community, this incredible service. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. All right, and let's center that with an affirmation, shall we? I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and the presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness, and I am ready to be the formative light in the world. So that is, huh? All right. I'm going to ask one of our transformation agents, Joan, to come on up, because we are going to honor the one by recognizing the multiple paths and the multiple rituals that all come to that one. And so we're going to take a moment to light the flames of faith of the more well-known paths to the one. So we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And now I invite each of us to take a moment and just recognize that flame within, that part of us that knows our divinity, our oneness, our wholeness. Thank you. Yay, yay. Okay. And so now we're going to have an inspirational reading from practitioner Colleen.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to read from the Neville Reader. This is written by Neville Goddard, and he was a contemporary of Ernest Holmes' time. Men pay too little attention to this priceless gift, the human imagination. And a gift is practically non-existent unless there is a conscious possession of it and a readiness to use it. All men possess the power to create reality, but the power sleeps as though dead when not consciously exercised. Men live in the very heart of creation, the human imagination, yet are no wiser for what takes place therein. The future will not be fundamentally different from the imaginal activities of man. Therefore, the individual who can summon at will whatever imaginal activity he pleases, and to whom the visions of his imagination are as real as the forms of nature, is master of his fate. The future is the imaginal activity of man in its creative march. Imagining is the creative power not only of the poet, the artist, the actor and orator, but of the scientist, inventor, merchant, and artisan. Imagining novel solutions to ever more complex problems is far more noble than to run from problems. Life is the continual solution of a continuously synthetic problem. Imagining creates events. The world created out of man's imagining comprises unnumbered warring beliefs. Therefore, it can never be a perfectly stable or static state. Today's events are bound to disturb yesterday's established order. Imaginative men and women invariably unsettle a pre-existing peace of mind. Do not bow before the dictates of facts and accept life on the basis of the world without. Assert the supremacy of your imaginal acts over facts and put all things in subjection to them. Hold fast to your ideal in your imagination. Nothing can take it from you but your failure to persist in imagining the ideal realized. Imagine only such states that are of value and promise well.
What kept me sad was a story in my head about what I never had and what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free. When I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. There is a road, a journey we must take. It starts from within, it's just a thought away. I can sing a song the flowers gave to me, and it helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free. When I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. If God is all there is, then everything is God.
That was lovely. All right. Here she comes, Reverend Joanne.
Thank you for that music, thank you for the reading, and thank you for everything you do, Reverend Debbie. So in March, our theme is Growing Together in Love, Light, and Possibilities, and today the title of the message is Utilizing Your Invisible Power. Now, I know you guys have never heard me say this before, but there is one power in the universe. And that power that created everything and everyone is the same power that experiences life in, through, and as its creation. You know, if we can just remember this and hold on to it, our lives are going to be filled with joy and happiness and enthusiasm and all good. Not only our lives, but we can take that power within and not only bless our own lives and the lives of our loved ones, the people in our communities, we can bless the world at large. And I am a big believer of, if we speak our word, if we live our lives, if we take care of this person right here, we lift up the consciousness of everything and everyone. And I believe it's important for us not only to pray affirmatively for our families, in our communities, and our people in our surroundings, but also to speak our word for the world. I mean, yeah, it seems like a big deal, but when you think about it, again, that power that created everything is the power within us, so we can make a difference in this world by our thoughts and our words. And when we do that, when we declare good in our life, good comes to us. We get blessed. Ask anybody in here. We receive blessings in our life. And when we receive blessings in our life, typically we develop a little gratitude for that good in our life. And with that, I'm going to invite Celeste Haskell up to say a few words about her life and how that has developed into some gratitude. I hope I did that right. Celeste?
Hello, I have figured out that I do better holding the mic.
Okay, but put it back where you
I will, I promise. I practiced before I came up here. Thank you both for giving me the opportunity to talk about some infinite possibilities and some gratitude. I have many examples, but we always start with our first, right? And my first was 24 years ago, at this time, March. So March, I not only celebrate my birthday, but I celebrate that I'm still here. Because 24 years ago at this time, I'll just say it straight, practitioner. Won't get into the story, but I almost died. And I had one night in particular in the hospital where I was having trouble breathing. And I realized I could just let go and just bypass all of this. And I remember I just kept breathing. It was a conscious choice. And oh my God, if I'm making a conscious choice at this basic a level, where else in my life do I have a choice that I am not making? And that was my just clearest, most dramatic, expression of infinite possibilities. Fast forward a little bit, I relearned how to walk, and I walked myself right into a CSL church. And I sat down, I took a deep breath, and I listened to the message, and if you're like me, you went, I'm home. This is where I'm going to learn the tools that will lean into this understanding I now have of infinite possibilities. Because 24 years ago, the prognosis was not good. So I took the classes, and I did the work. And I realized, I'm here for a reason. Divine Idea was giving me the tools I would need to walk this really delicate path. For 24 years, twice as long as the doctor said I should still be here. So I leaned into that infinite possibility. And that leads to the gratitude of it all. How grateful I am that I wandered into a church and got these tools. So I wake up every day grateful that I can get out of bed by myself. And I go to bed every night thinking how blessed I am. I have a roof over my head, I have food in my fridge, I have gas in my tank, and I'm still here. So yeah, March is a pretty special month for me. I get to celebrate my birthday, and I get to celebrate standing in that infinite possibility. And I think they're interchangeable, infinite possibility and gratitude. You almost can't have one without the other. So, as the teacher and practitioner that I am, I'm going to tell you, you're sitting in this chair. You wandered in. You're online. Dig deep. Take classes. Learn these tools. Because every one of us has that moment where we either get weird and pissed off and angry at the world for the tragic in our life, or we go, wow, that was weird. What's next? And step into that infinite possibility. And then let your shoulders drop from that feeling of grace and gratitude. So thank you for this opportunity to share. Thank you. I had a great time. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, isn't it nice to hear kind of from the horse's mouth once in a while how this philosophy works? Now, Reverend Debbie and I in the last few weeks have been talking about this lady named Genevieve Behrend. She was the woman that Thomas Troward took on as a student. And she wrote a book called Your Invisible Power. And this is what we're talking about today, this idea about utilizing the invisible power. We like to think in this center and in our philosophy of science of mind that we're pretty pragmatic. We use this stuff. It's not just a Sunday get a shot in the arm, but it's something that we can live and use and be comforted with and strengthened by and led by every day of the week. Ernest Holmes says, there's a power in the universe for good, and we can use it. And I think that it's important, and it is helpful, and it is imperative to also use our imaginations, as Neville and Colleen were talking about earlier. And I'm going to tell you a story. Some of you have heard this story before. I know I've told the story before, and if you were here, you probably heard it. But it took place in the 1400s in Italy. And there was a commission to create a series of 12 large biblical statues. Took 60 years for the first two to get done. And then they hired an artist named Agostino di Deducci. He was going to work on the third one. So he worked for a couple years, and then, according to the records, his association with the project ceased. He probably got canned. So then they hired another guy. And I looked into the works of just, you Google them and you see their Wikipedia, and they bring up some of the statues that these guys created. And I mean, like I know, but they sure looked fine to me. So why they couldn't, the next guy was a guy named Antonio Rossellino. And he too worked for a short time and then gone. Why they weren't able to complete the statue, nobody seems to know, because they were certainly, according to some of the other statues they did, they should have been capable to do this. But then for 25 years, this big slab of marble that they had hauled in from northern Tuscany at considerable hard work and expense laid in the yard of the workshop of the cathedral. Just laid there 25 years, kind of crumbling and whatever they do. I don't know how that works, but nobody was working on it. So after 25 years, in 1501, they decided we got to get somebody in here working on this statue. So they started the interview process all over again. They interviewed Leonardo da Vinci and many others, but the guy that finally got the job was a 26-year-old Michelangelo. And he's the guy that after 2 years had produced this wonderful statue of David. And what he said, his premise was that David was in this statue and all he was doing was carving away anything that wasn't David. He said, I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. Isn't that lovely? And so Michelangelo was using that invisible power to create what he created, a statue of art that has certainly met the test of time. People still really go to view it, and it's just, oh, did you see it? Yeah. So anyway, this is the power that is within all of us, this power of our imagination, this invisible power. Albert Einstein said, I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. He also said, logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. So sometimes we take that gift that we have for granted, and we certainly don't use it in the right way. So Ernest Holmes says this: there is an irresistible, universal, and divine urge within us to be happy, to be whole, and to express the fullness of life. The latent divinity within us stirs our imagination, and because of its insistent demand, impels and compels our growth. It is back of every invention. It proclaims itself through every creative endeavor. It has produced sages and saints and saviors, and will, when permitted, create a new world in which war, poverty, sickness, and famine have disappeared. Now, Ernest was the ultimate optimist, but he knew that we, using our imagination as a power, all of us, we can lift the consciousness of this world and make the world a better place. Obviously, we still have a little work to do. So it's not just theology, it's science, and I'm just going to give you an example of this. At the Harvard Medical School, there was a neuroscientist, Alvaro Pascal Leon, and he taught a group of students a little 5-finger piano exercise. He took the group and he divided into 2 parts. And the one group, they had come in for 5 days in a row and for 2 hours practice on the piano, this little 5-finger exercise that was their assignment. And after 5 days of practice, the motor cortex devoted to these finger movements had grown significantly. As we practice, the brain does something, works with us. So the second group, same thing, they had to come in for 5 days in a row and for 2 hours practice, but they didn't have a piano to practice on. They practiced in their imagination, in their mind. And to the great surprise of the researchers, they discovered that the region of the motor cortex that controls the piano-playing fingers also expanded in their brains, just as it has in those. And I don't know, maybe you've heard these stories too. Particularly, I've heard stories of people that were held in prisoner of war camps and isolated for 4 or 5 years, and some of them did things like practice their golf stroke in their head. And when they came out, their golf score actually improved because they had been practicing it in here. Our brains, our imaginations are so powerful. After this experiment, Time magazine said, in other words, they discovered that imagination can actually alter the physical structure and function of our brains. Imagining creates new neural pathways in your brain which will make permanent changes in your life. So how imperative is it that we use our imagination? Our brains will react to that. So we're going to do a little experiment. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to ask you to do this. Put your hands palm up. Close your eyes. Keep them closed for the whole experiment. Doesn't take long. Keep them up. And imagine that someone places a book, a big book, in your right hand. And then the person places another book in your right hand. And another book. And another book in your right hand. And then imagine that in your left hand, someone ties a helium balloon to your wrist, and then another, and another, and another. Now open your eyes and see where your hands are. Okay, first, and I didn't know where this was going to go. I've never tried this before, but you can put your hands down. So, I had 2 ways to respond to this, and one way was, isn't this amazing what our imaginations can do? And the other was, I think we have to work a little bit on our imaginations. And I think that this group probably was 50-50. Some of you, I could definitely see the left hand go up and the right hand go down. So Our imaginations are powerful. Genevieve Behrend, this gal that was the pupil of Thomas Troward, in her book, Your Invisible Power, tells a story about the Wright brothers. She says that one brother would tell the other when their varied experiments didn't turn out as expected, the one brother would say to the other, "It's all right. Brother, I can see myself riding in that machine, and it travels easily and steadily." They were encouraging each other by saying, "Don't worry about it. I can see it." You know, that's where we have to start. We have to be able to see what it is that we want in our lives. See it. And what can we imagine? And sometimes, of course, this mind works the opposite for us. We imagine what we don't want. Oh, I can imagine what that traffic is going to be like this morning. Oh, I can imagine the bills I'm going to have by the end of this month. Oh, I can imagine so-and-so's going to be at that gathering, and what a bummer that is. You know, we imagine these things in our lives that are not useful to us. Wayne Dyer writes in his book, Wishes Fulfilled, highly functioning, self-actualized people simply never imagine what it is they don't wish to have as their reality. You know, people that are very successful, self-actualized, don't go there. And we can do that. We can practice keeping our thoughts positive and constructive. When we see those negative thoughts popping up here and there, we can say, "I see you, but no, you're of no use to me," and I just dismiss them. So another way that we can misuse this amazing power is when we let our imaginations be restricted to the current conditions of our lives. And if we only look at what is and fail to look at the big picture and make that big picture, what are we going to see? We really restrict ourselves. Neville, in his writing The Power of Awareness, writes, "Disregard appearances, conditions. In fact, all evidence of your senses that deny the fulfillment of your desire. Rest in the assumption that you are already what you want to be. For in that determined assumption, you and your infinite being, capital I, capital B, are merged in creative unity, and with your infinite being, all things are possible." I mean, he was convinced that we could use our imagination for our good. So, how are you using your imagination? You know, are you using it the way that's going to be positive, constructive, or are you kind of letting it go with that worry stuff, fret stuff? We can control that. And I am going to suggest that for a little homework this week, you think about this. You use your imagination. Maybe sit down with a paper and pencil and write down, what is it? Who is it that I want me to be in this life? How do I want my life to look? Make it personal. And then go a step further and write down, how about the world? How do I want the world to look? And again, it seems like, yeah, maybe it's a little Pollyanna, but the fact is, I was going to look this up. I was thinking about this driving here today. Wasn't it one of those Margaret, who's the lady that's the philosopher that, is it Margaret Mead that wrote? Anyway, she wrote something like, the only thing that will change the world is our communal changing of our minds. I'm really butchering that, but I only thought about it driving, so I couldn't look it up. But that is the truth. We as a people, as we know that our power is within, that invisible power, we can make a difference, not only just in our own lives, but we can raise the consciousness of the whole world. So I'm going to end with another quote by Einstein and then go into a spiritual mind treatment or an affirmative prayer to end this service. So Albert Einstein says, and I use this sometimes in weddings that I do. I think it's perfect for a couple to know going into a marriage. Your imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. Isn't that lovely? Your imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. We can make that happen. We can have an effect on that. We can play our part in the use of this invisible power by use of our imagination. So let's just take a deep breath. Relax where we are, knowing there's nowhere else to be. Just let our body relax. Listen to my words. I'm speaking this in first person, but it applies to all of us. I know there is but one power in the universe, and it is a power for good. It is all good. It is peace and love and joy and beauty. It has the perfect solution to any perceived challenge or dilemma in my life. And I know that very power that created everything and everyone is the same power that experiences life in, through, and as its creation, in, through, and as me. And even though in the past I have sometimes imagined the very things I don't want, made a little picture of the things that scare me, planted seeds of things I really don't desire, even though in the past that may have been the case, I now declare that I intend to use my imagination to create what I truly desire, create joy and love and happiness and ease in my life. And a step further, thinking of the world, peace and harmony and abundance for all, the whole world. So with gratitude that this is the way it works, as Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. I release these words now to that beneficent conspiracy for perfect manifestation. So it is.
Inside of you, brother, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just want to tell you there is a light inside of you, sister, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a love inside of your heart, and I don't know if you know there's a love inside of your heart. I just thought I'd tell you there is a strength inside of your soul, and I don't know if you know there's a strength inside of your soul. I just thought I'd tell you there is a power inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a power inside of us all, and it's time to celebrate. Celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright, and it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of us all, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright, and it's time to celebrate.
Okay, so far, pretty good Sunday, huh? Yeah. This is our time to celebrate our abundance and our opportunity to give. And so I invite all of us to take that gift of love, take it in hand, take it in mind, because there's so many ways to give. And let's just put some extra love in it. Let's just put some extra love in that gift and send it out. Send it out to all who need a little extra sunshine, who have a little fear going on, a little worry. Let us just send that love out there to those who are in need. And let us be thankful that we have enough, more than enough. Enough time, enough joy, enough love, enough cash, enough to honor and share. And that is our truth, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for the gifts. We give thanks for the givers. We just give thanks. Okay, announcements. We've got a couple of them. We're doing a book discussion based on The Art of Abundance by Dennis Merritt Jones. It's been a fabulous discussion. In fact, we might have to go from an hour to an hour and 15 just so we can get through it. So this coming week on Wednesday, we are meeting at 7 o'clock Central Time via Zoom, and we are going to cover rules 3 and 4. So if you would love to join us, if you're able to join us, please go to the website cslminneapolis.org and register. There's no cost, but when you register, you get the link. And when you register, we then have your email so we can give you a reminder, and along with a reminder link and a couple of thoughts to ponder. So, yes.
Chapter 5 and 6, rules 3 and 4?
Yes.
4 and 5.
4 and 5?
Oh, chapters 4 and 5.
I know, it all gets confusing. You know, the rules in the chapters should match, but they don't. I don't know. But, so, yeah. Rules 3 and 4, whatever they are. I'm not gonna ruin it by telling you guys what those rules are. But I will tell you, rule 1 is to be awake, mindful, and present. Rule 1. Rule 2 is to be aware of what you're thinking and what you're doing and what you're putting out there. So those are the first 2 rules. You'll have to look up the next set. So that's going on. We're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of really good discussion and conversation. Second thing, May, We've got Raise Your Frequency, Transform Your Life. Selena Maitreya will be here in person on Friday night, May 16th. We're going to do a consciousness circle of love and have a little fellowship before, during, and after. And then there'll be a one-day workshop on Saturday. More information for that is also on the website. What is not on the website, but we should probably get it there, is our very own Fancy Ray. The mayors of St. Paul and Minneapolis both declared May 28th as Fancy Ray Day. Seriously, he's got the documentation to prove it. So there are some flyers, in case you don't know. He's a comedian in the area. There are flyers on the information table. Fancy Ray Day is March 28th, and we're going to celebrate him. The doors open at 7, showtime is at 8 at Spring Street Tavern in Minneapolis on Monroe Street. So pick up a flyer, watch for Facebook posts on March 28th celebrating Fancy Ray Day. Okay, there's that. And I think at this point, that's all I've got for announcements.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait. No, I said that's all I have for announcements.
Oh.
And now it is my opportunity to share with you what our talented musicians are up to. Yeah.
Yeah, so, hi, I'm here once, my name is Scott, I'm here once a month usually, and for those of you who are interested in seeing me do solo work, I'm performing with another gentleman named Greg Harridges, and he's a bouzouki player and an amazing solo guitarist too. We're sharing a bill at Ginkgo Coffee House in St. Paul on Friday, 6 to 8. Pay what you can, and he's gonna do some cool stuff. I'm gonna do some of my originals, and we're going to do a little jam at the end of it, which will be very interesting. So, Ginkgo's St. Paul. It's off of Snelling University. It's near there, near that area. And if you need more information, you can talk to me after the service.
This coming Friday?
This coming Friday, correct, 6 to 8.
And I have two things coming up I just want to let you know. I also have something going on Friday that's a completely different thing than Scott does. So I do improv theater, and I'm in 2 different groups in town. And one of my groups that I'm with, Gestures, we're performing at a brewery called Torg Brewery this Friday. The show is at 8 p.m., and it's all short form stuff. So, like, whose line is it anyway? So depending on your vibe, go see Scott, do the music stuff, which is probably going to be really freaking awesome, or laugh your butt off, come see me in one of my groups.
Both. Mine is 6 to 8, and yours starts at 8.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you can have a full evening. What? Oh, at Torg Brewery. It's in Fridley. Yeah, Torg. They have kind of a Celtic vibe to them. It's a neat spot. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you can't make this, we have other shows too, but we were talking about it beforehand. We were like, oh, we should talk about this. Otherwise, my jazz duo Clover Club, we have our next show coming up April 12th. It's going to be at Troubadour Winery in Uptown. So,
And I should add to that, I have a show at Troubadour on April 5th.
you know what, Scott?
I'm the Saturday before you, so.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, make sure to go and see Scott. He's really incredible. He plays, how many different instruments do you play, Scott?
I only play guitars, but I play 4 guitars.
Like,
So,
but
I'm usually-
his style is really unique. He does like bouzouki style.
No, it's Balkan and Celtic.
Celtic. There we go.
Yeah, and a
Thank
lot
you.
of
Yeah.
American roots and all that stuff.
There we
So
go.
the thing I don't bring here is my slide resophonic, my steel body guitar. So.
You should bring it sometime.
Well, you got to figure out a blues tune.
Okay,
Sister.
fine. We can
That's on
we
you.
can talk after this. Okay. All right.
So, needless to say, the musicians we have here are extremely talented and multifaceted, and really care for each other. Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah, I mean, come on. All right, I'm going to pray us out. Reverend Joanne's going to bless us out. Scott and Victoria are going to sing us out. But before any of that happens, I just want to remind everyone that this center is based on the science of mind. And we have some incredibly powerful practitioners who have spent many years not only learning their trade, but putting the tools of this teaching to work in their lives. So if there is anything going on that you are looking to have support on, celebration for, needing someone to know that truth for you, there's so many ways for us to do that for you. There is a prayer tab on our website. There are prayer forms at the prayer table. In-house today, we have practitioners Celeste and Dee Dee and Sue and Colleen and Jeff and myself and Reverend Joanne. And know that when we do our spiritual work, we include this community. We include this world in our work. And we do that at great pleasure. So please, if there's anything, it would be our honor and our privilege. So with that, let's take a breath, shall we? And let us just allow that gratitude for this spiritual food, for this incredible spiritual community, and for this fabulous teaching. It is that gratitude that centers us. It is that gratitude that expands us. It is that gratitude that allows that abundance of good to continue to grow in both size and awareness and sharing. This is the truth, and so it is.
With my apologies to Margaret Mead, here's her quote. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So we are okay to pray for the world peace. It's all good. All right, I'll leave you with this blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yes, I can. Suddenly, yes, I can. Gee, I'm afraid to go on has turned into yes, I can. Take a look. What do you see? 133 pounds of confident me. Got a feeling I can do anything, yes, I can. Something that sings in my blood is telling me, yes, I can. I was just born today, I can go all the way, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Suddenly, yes, I can. Gee, boss, I just ain't sure has turned into yes, I can. Wind me up, then watch me fly. A regular sunburned sort of Superman. Are you ready? I can climb Everest, yes, I can